Welcome to Time in History. Ever come across the documentaries of one of the darkest and horrifying slave trades in history of mankind? The Transatlantic Slave Trade. The Transatlantic Slave Trade stands as one of the darkest, most harrowing chapters in human history for over 400 years, from the 16th to the 19th centuries. It created a brutal system that forcibly transported millions of Africans across the Atlantic Ocean. This wasn't just a journey, it was a systematic dehumanization of people, reducing them to mere commodities for profit. The trade formed one leg of a triangular route. European ships would sail to the coasts of Africa, laden with goods like textiles, rum, and firearms. There, these goods were exchanged for enslaved people who had been captured in wars or kidnapped from their villages. The horrors began long before they even saw the ocean, with forced marches to coastal forts where they were held in dungeons, awaiting the dreaded ships. The second leg, the Middle Passage, was a journey across the Atlantic. The conditions on these slave ships were beyond inhumane. People were packed into the hulls so tightly they couldn't stand or even turn over, chained together in filth and darkness. They faced disease, starvation, and unimaginable cruelty. The air was so foul, it was hard to breathe. So many lost their lives during this horrific voyage that the sharks were said to follow the ships. Knowing they would find food, it's estimated that up to 2 million people died during the Middle Passage alone. Upon arrival in the Americas, those who survived were sold at auction. Families were torn apart forever, sold to the highest bidder to work on plantations growing sugar, cotton, and tobacco. They were stripped of their names, their culture, their languages, and their freedom. Life on the plantations was one of relentless, backbreaking labor under the constant threat of brutal punishment. The legacy of the slave trade is deep and painful. It fueled the economies of Europe and the Americas, but it was built on immense human suffering. Its effects are still felt today in the form of systemic racism, inequality, and the intergenerational trauma carried by the descendants of those who were enslaved. Understanding this history is not about assigning blame, it's about acknowledging the truth, honoring the millions of lives that were stolen or destroyed, and recognizing how this past continues to shape our present. Thank you for watching.